Hello everyone, it's Rafael Gutierrez. Welcome to my channel. I tried to do this and for some reason it didn't save, so I guess I'm gonna do it one more time. And I just want to talk about rotating the hand. And I'm gonna use my friendly neighborhood Eskrima stick to help show something off. Now, I'm not gonna do full punches. I just want to show you certain things as they happen here. And one of the things you'll notice is that I'm actually in a, don't have my writing instrument board today because I'm just going to use my hand. One of the things I'm going to tell you is there's a couple different movements of the hand. One of them is called pronation, which is bringing your hand in this way. The other one is supination, which is bringing your hand up. Now, if you were to take a cup of coffee, or a cup of soup really would work better, and you put it on the palm of your hand, that would be supine. That would be the supine position. And moving from palm down to palm up, so you can hold your cup of soup, would be supination. And it's coffee, but hey, don't drink soup like that for some reason. So we have this movement. Now, why is that important? If we're coming in, I'm going to use the in, pulling the elbow in first. If you're coming in and you have your hand here, you'll notice that either your elbow comes out or your hand makes a weird angle, which makes it really easy to see the movement here. If, on the other hand, we rotate, you'll notice that it tends to hide the move a little more. And the reason has to do with this. If I come from here and try to pull in, the only way to pull this in a straight line is to bend my elbow here or to rotate. And that way it stays in that line here. It stays on the same plane, so it tends to hide a little better. Now, I'm actually dealing with pulling back like we do in karate, but if you actually think about it, when you actually punch and you pull your hand back here, you do the same movement. Your hand rotates in to come to your ear, pretty much. So you do have the same basic movement, slight modification because of the fact that, where the hand is actually moving to. So we do have the supination coming when we pull in. Now, besides that, we also are using other muscles. We actually are bending our elbow. That means that we're going to be using our biceps brachii or brachialis, brachioradialis to pull the elbow here. Now remember, we're not doing this just here. We're actually using the back of the shoulder too. So what I'm saying is if I'm pulling back, I'm actually coming here, just here. Right? So I'm pulling my shoulder back and down. And so to do that, we actually need this the trapezius, the serratus anterior to a degree. And actually, we're also going to be using the, why is that muscle now switching me? The latissimus dorsi. Yeah, the muscle everyone can name I have a hard time with, right? And so we're using this, and it's also causing a rotation of our humerus, so it stays in closer to our body when we come here. Again, you're using the same muscles to pull your arm back here, unless you're trying to keep your shoulder out for some reason. And I know that there are some styles that do practice that. So we can see the muscles that are used to pull back here. Now, I am going to actually show you something that I think is interesting. If you are punching here and you're pulling back, a lot of people will say, well, yeah, but you usually don't want to pull back here. And some people will say, well, that pull back, that hand pulling back, can be used to pull something else. Meaning that, let's say you block something, we'll come here with our hand supine. We can rotate, grab, and pull someone in as we punch with the other hand. Now, that actually does have some really an interesting thing. If someone were to grab my hand and rotate here, you'll notice that my hand is rotating this way. And if it rotates too much, you'll notice that my body, instead of staying here, will move off center. Now, by my body moving off center, I'm now off balance. So it's easier to pull someone when they're off balance. So this movement can actually be used to pull someone off balance. And if you're doing a throw, you may actually grab, twist, go under the armpit so you can actually help, so it can help you throw someone over your hip, for instance. And so that supination, that pull back here, can be used in a lot of different things. And the other one I'm going to talk about is in bow. Now I'm going to use it from here because what I want to actually talk about is when you rotate here, you'll notice this comes gently in here. I can go as fast as I want, and it's not going to cause any tap. It actually stops because the momentum cannot pretty much the body just allows it to stop here, and it doesn't hit you hard. Now, I do know that some people in bow come and hit here. Different way to do it. But if you're actually coming this way, you'll notice the same movement as you do in your karate. Now, there is another thing that I would actually like to talk about, and that is the hand coming out. Just like when you're coming in, the hand goes from pronated to supinated. When you're coming out, your hand goes from supine to prone. And if you don't do that, you end up having this locking here. For instance, if someone's just punching this way like this, they're not getting the full extension. The rotation does allow you to get a little bit more space to come in. It also, again, hides a punch. If you actually think about rotating here, you can see how it actually will follow the line that I'm talking about. So here, you can see that line being followed. If I try not to, you'll notice that there's a little bit of a outcrop of the elbow, which will actually help you lose a little bit of power as well. And so that's why we tend to see, and even if you look at it, you'll notice that people come out and twist to get that linear movement, even in a jab. Now, when you are coming out, you are causing the pronation. You're also using the triceps brachii and the econos to help pull it out. But if we're using our legs for power, that's going to be really minimal. We are, again, using, ironically, the serratus anterior, especially boxers. If you actually look at boxers, you'll notice that boxers tend to actually have a serratus anterior muscle here that's kind of jagged. That's really well developed. Reason is that muscle is used to pull the shoulder down and forward, so you can actually end up using that for a little bit of power. It also does stabilize the shoulder a bit. And so that's pretty much what I would talk about if I'm talking about punching and the extending of the arm out. We can talk about the rotator cuff muscles, which I've done before, so I'm going to skip. You can look for the rotator cuff muscles and how they support the shoulder in different videos. And I'm actually also going to just mention a couple things. In the next couple weeks, I actually do want to talk about pretty much certain things that I think are important. I do want to do a video on bullying, and I'm going to use myself as an example of both the victim and the bully. I'm actually going to also want to talk about what happens when your sensei passes away, or the head of your organization passes away, and how things end up going a certain way. And again, I'm going to use myself as an example, and I'm going to ask people who have had the heads of their organizations or the head instructor pass away. I'm going to ask people what they went through and pretty much what they felt was things that helped them with things that didn't. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll have a nice day. This is Rafael Gutierrez, Karate Doctor. Goodbye.